It's the Social Security Enhancement Act, and the reason is that it's personal for me. And this is not to say Social Security isn't personal for all of you. It's personal for many, many families across the state. It's family insurance. It's family security. The average Social Security benefit for people across the state of Hawaii is about $14,000 a year, and we all know that that's just not enough to live on. And I think I want to set the context. 5-6 years ago, the conversation among Tea Party Republicans was to totally eliminate the Social Security program as it's currently constituted. And there were a lot of Democrats out there who were willing to go to the bargaining table and essentially discuss. You had the Tea Party on one side saying, let's get rid of the program, and you had many Democrats, moderate Democrats, blue dog Democrats, new Democrats, whatever you want to call them, who were willing to entertain serious reductions in the cost of living adjustment, to consider raising the retirement age. And what we've done with the Social Security Enhancement Act is say, enough is enough. This is the most successful anti-poverty program in American history. It takes care of all of our families. This program actually works. Poverty has gone down in America since Social Security was established. And so what we ought to do is think about enhancing the program. And all we have to do is for the first $114,000 of your earnings, you're taxed for Social Security purposes. If you make anything beyond that, you don't have to pay Social Security tax on that. If we simply lift the lift the cap on taxable earnings for Social Security purposes, we can generate enough money to extend the solvency of the program to almost the year 2050 and increase Social Security benefits by $65 to $70 per person per month. This is something that makes absolute sense, is totally fair from a tax perspective, and will take care of our friends and neighbors who rely on this program.
Thank you. I'd like to sort of key off what you have said, Senator Schatz, and give you each a 1-minute follow-up. And that is, Ms. Hanabusa, please address your level of support for Social Security. 1 minute only.
Thank you. I have been a strong advocate of Social Security. When I first got elected, I signed on to a letter to say to the president who wanted to change CPI, which is a way of indexing the cost of living, that it should not be considered. And it was the president who actually put it on the table. There's never been, in my mind, any threat to Social Security in recent times, and no one has said that they are going to vote against Social Security or have Social Security be cut. And that's something that I have pledged continually. I also believe that it is necessary for our seniors to understand that when we talk about raising the cap, I agree with that as well, or eliminating it. I agree with that. I don't know of any Democrat who doesn't agree with that principle. The question, though, is whether you raise that cap to secure Social Security to the year 2075, which is what our trustees are mandated to do.
Thank you. And take another minute, Senator Schatz. You seem to imply that there are those who are not supporting Social Security, understanding you can't control anybody but yourself at this point. So 1 minute more on the Social Security issue.
Well, there's an organization called the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. Their only job, their only focus, their only mission is to preserve Social Security and Medicare. And let me read from a letter, February 5th, 2013. Dear Representative, it was written to every single member of Congress. I urge you to oppose an amendment to H.R. 444, Require a Plan Act, and I'll just summarize. We said then and continue to believe that this proposal relied far too heavily on benefits cuts to both Social Security and Medicare, which would hurt millions of Americans. It would cut Social Security by raising the retirement age to 69. It would cut Social Security by reducing the cost of living adjustment. It would cut Social Security by altering the benefit formula. And unfortunately, Colleen, you voted for this amendment. I know you have your explanation for it, but the fact is this was a bad vote, and I think people in Hawaii deserve an explanation beyond, that's not what I meant to do.
Okay. Another minute, please, because I don't want to leave us with doubt. And that is the last minute we're going to spend on Social Security. So 1 minute, Colleen Hanabusa, final comment on Social Security, and then Brian, you'll get a chance.
You know, what happens with bills on the floor is that it evolves along the way. Things get changed, things get taken out, and it wasn't the bill that Brian depicts. And let me also say this. In the year 2012, the same organization that Brian speaks to is the same organization that also endorsed me and gave me a contribution, because our record was very clear on issues like Social Security. So I think that it is unfair and really uncalled for to be able to take an issue which I feel is out there to scare our kupunas, when our kupuna know that Social Security is something that is dear to every Democrat's heart, and we will all fight for Social Security.
Brian Schatz, 1 minute only.
I'll just point out that the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare endorsed you, Colleen, in 2012. You took this vote to undermine Social Security in 2013. In 2014, they endorsed me, and they endorsed me because of your vote on this issue and because of my leadership on the Social Security Enhancement Act.